Hello friends, hi and welcome to edCafe. बहुत दिनों के बाद मैं आपसे मिल रहा हूँ, but here I am. This is the place where we try to bring in the best of the education industry, from technology, from education perspective, from various verticals of education that there are. We are trying to tap all of them, and we are trying to bring in the best and the most innovative things to you through this channel. Today, we have a very special guest with us, and he has been in this education industry for quite a long time, from very far away. That's why we're doing it online. And of course, I'm gonna bring him in very soon, and I'm gonna let him introduce himself. But today we'll be talking to Mr. Dheeraj Mehrotra. He's the principal of Kunwar Global School, and he'll be telling us about how NEP and various other things have changed the education in past few years, and how it has been a different ball game altogether now. So bringing him in now. Here is Mr. Dheeraj Mehrotra for you. Hello, sir.
Yeah. Good evening. Tell me.
How are you, sir?
Very fine.
So, sir, our audience are watching you, and um, we would like you to introduce yourself and tell us a bit about yourself so that we can start today's show.
Hello, everyone. This is Dr. Dheeraj Mehrotra. I'm the principal. I come with a background of being an academician. I'd worked with the corporate and also as a teacher and as an author of over more than 100 books. I believe learning to learn should be a priority rather than an occasional occurrence. Well, friends, I also uh, have an experience of teaching computer science because I started my career as a computer teacher. And then, of course, with much of time, I took many positions, including that of principals of 3 schools and also the vice president academics for one of the e-learning companies, that is Next Education, based out at Hyderabad. And now for the last 5, 6 years, I'm again into leading a school, heading a school. And of course, priorities. I also have a what you call fortunate memories with me by being honored by the former President Abdul Kalam ji, as he was kind enough to be there during the award ceremony when I got the National Teacher Award in the year 2005. And keeping that point of view, I also recollect the interaction I had with him about having a small aim in life is like having the biggest crime in the world. So I recollect the words of former President Abdul Kalamji, and I'm excited to be a part of this session and look forward to learning with the segment of answering questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the introduction. Lovely introduction, Dr. Dheeraj. Small aim is a crime, very rightly said by Dr. Kalam. And I can't stress on this any much more, because this is something that I tell almost everyone throughout, whenever I talk to students, whenever I talk to people who are looking for some sort of guidance. We always end up telling them the small aim is a crime. This is something that has fixed with me for a long time, since my school days. You just gave me a nostalgic moment there. Uh, anyway, You just said that you authored almost 100 books. How has that turned out for you, sir?
Well, that was an idea which came to my mind when I started writing articles and letters to the column in the newspapers. So this was the year when I was in class 11th, and there was a pole in front of my house, which was actually in the middle of the road. So my English teacher directed me to write it to the letters to the editor that this pole should be removed. And that was my first letters to the editor write-up, which of course followed by many, many letters to the editors of different newspapers. And then I started writing for politics and write as a student's point of view, And then, of course, it was when I started teaching, I wrote my first book for computer science, ICSC. And then later on, it became my hobby. And presently, I'm catering to many more write ups. And the topic which I feel good, I tend to learn about it and author books on those concepts. In addition, I also have courses on Udemy, around 400 plus, and I'm catering to over 5 lakh students. And that way, I have that habit of writing and doing something for the education world.
When you start teaching or start interacting with students, the things that the teachings that you impart, they in itself become a kind of a content. And of course, it's a life story that you're telling, but it becomes a book eventually. um, great going, sir. You just said that you also taught as a computer science teacher in your early years. So I think my next question would be somewhat interesting. Of course, you've heard about NEP and how it has, changed the education scenario in India in past few years, and just wanted to understand how NEP is going to, in your view, how NEP is going to impact the integration of technology in education. Considering you are a computer science teacher, you've been a computer science teacher. I believe I'm hoping some good anecdotes from you.
Well, as a matter of fact, integration of technology is a part and parcel of learning today. And we cannot escape. Like, you won't believe, there was a child for admission in class 9th, and I happened to have an interaction with him. It was just 10 minutes back. And I asked him out of the blue, do you think Chat GPT is good enough? And first of all, I asked him, and he was well versed about that concept. And then he told me, yes, sir, it is actually a ready reckoner and of a great use to the students. Keeping the fact that CBSE has directed no use of chat gpt on the admit cards of 10s and 12s. Just imagine, they are so a ready reckoner to the technology. But at the same time, if I tell you close your eyes and don't think of monkeys, you'll only think of monkeys actually, you know. So I think it is high time that NEP also integrates technology, but at the same time, awareness is something very important. Today, the fact is that the children know more about the student, about technology, about anything and everything than their teachers. And it was the COVID time that the teachers were little upgraded through the part of using technology. But again, since we are back to the pavilion, back to the physical portals of the schools, the teachers are, I mean, with the same habit, they are not taking technology uh, as they should have been, and henceforth we can only talk about NEP, but implementation will take years, and the concept and the mindset has to be dwelled, or else it will just be in theory but in practice. That is what I believe. So it is hard time for the teachers and the educators to get up right frame of mind, otherwise they say, well, I'm very happy teaching. I've been teaching for the last 20 years, 10 years, and I'm pretty happy. And whatever may be the introduction of new syllabi or probably the new curriculum, it is going to take its way, and we are going to be teaching it as per the NEP, and we'll deliver it. So I think the right inception, perception, and the implementation has to take place. And we need to be marching the same footsteps as our students, because they are talking about technology upgraded to any form with every 6 months. They are graded to a new pattern and to the new concept, but the teachers remain happy with a little Zoom and a little add-on of Skype or something of that sort. So it is high time for we, the heads of schools, to understand that yes, there should be an awareness for the topics, for the concepts. And when we're talking about AI, yes, a very good module by CBSE to initiate AI in all the schools, but hardly practically implemented. I'm sorry to say that, but for sure, it has become just like a cosmetic fragrance being clubbed and outshined.
Yes,
It has to be in practice, and that
it
practice
has to
has
be.
to come up with technology as a part of teaching learning process. And we cannot expect just by having a virtual class or a webinar, that should not be the end of it. Actually, it should be the part and parcel of the teaching learning process in practice.
Very rightly said, sir. The word that comes to my mind is accurate adoption of technology is what is needed right now. You more or less answered my next question as well, but I would still ask just to see if you have something else to say on that. So, do you think that the benefits of youth, as in that there are, of course, there are benefits of using technology in education, but how do you think it can improve the learning based outcomes, as in
Well,
outcome based learning? Sorry.
see, it is the teacher's outcome. If we don't promise to utilize the power of technology, the children are in any case going to go to YouTube or to any other platform. And they are actually the curators of knowledge now. With the implementation of AI model software, I don't think that they require teachers, and they don't actually require teachers if the teachers are not that creative
Yeah.
to make them feel that they are important as well while in the classroom. I don't think that there will be an interest of the children to attend the class. In fact, they might feel like sleeping with their eyes open, which majority of them are doing. So it is the teachers who need to change their mindset, change their strategies, and model up with something of being a rock star teacher through some comic in the classroom. Through, of course, there are many strategies we tend to follow, and I've quoted that in my book also, 200 Wow Teaching Ideas. And that probably looks after like how prepared we are. We can't be teaching the way we were taught. We can't be teaching the same ABCD, wherein now A is no longer Apple, it is Android. B is no longer boy, it is Blackberry. And C is no longer cat, it is cloud. So henceforth, above all, the same stuff coming again and again is the smartness, the street smartness of the teachers is a requisite to implement NEP the best way possible.
So ABC has changed, but has been the same. It is the same, but it has changed its course of action in
Very
past
true.
years. But I understand your point, what you made just made. Teachers and technology has to work hand in hand because that's how it's gonna be in the future. And of course, if teachers are still using the primitive methods of education, they're gonna get or be obsolete in the coming future, and they'll be taken over by maybe like you said, YouTube. Almost every information that is taught in the school, the primitive education, is available on YouTube for free right now. So after a while, it won't take much time for the students or parents to understand that they don't have to pay fee for the education that is available for free. Right? They have to innovate. And that's where the amalgamation of technology and educator comes in, because educator is very important. That's a good point that you just made. My next question is another interesting one. What in your school? You've been there for almost 5 years now, and what challenges do you foresee in implementing technology in your school, in your classrooms, and how are you trying to address them?
Well, for me, I am occupied with vendors for the best to offer. The price and the quality is one attribute, and we tend to look forward to practicing it, to interact with our students, because the parents are very demanding. They look forward and telling that the bus doesn't have a, what you call, the GPRS today. It was not working. I couldn't track my child, what time he's supposed to come. So these are the expectations. Then the other day, like parent talks about online buffering of the classes were not equally smarter, and that is what they are targeting into. So now the school has to roll out new ways to connect with the parents and new ways to get satisfaction, because we at Kunwar Global School Lucknow believe that one satisfied parent is the best advertisement. And henceforth, there are challenges. There are challenges that the ERP should work the best way possible. The upgrades on the ERP software should also be polished and updated as per the expectation of the parents. And the fee reminder and everything should go, as well as the classroom should be, you know, there has to be a good content. The
Yeah.
digital content should be good, attractive, playful, and the children should enjoy the class. The maximum usage of technology should be there, so the children note everything and they demand that yesterday the physics class didn't happen, the smart room or the LCD projection room or things, we've not been using it, we couldn't go there because of the practice and other things. So they're demanding technology in a big way, and they are not only demanding, but the children are of great assistance to making it happen, because the teachers are well aided and assisted to make it happen by the children, and their smart hands and legs are always there to make it happen. So a wow element in the classroom is always there, with the involvement, the engagement of the students. And henceforth, the teachers need to be smarter, bolder, and above all, street smart, as I mentioned earlier, to make it happen. So these are the challenges. And of course, the parents are smart enough to understand that, yes, there has to be a demanding tech culture or a Wi-Fi status. They assume that there is a Wi-Fi everywhere they move around the school. Like the other day, they were there in the auditorium, so they expected, and we had to make an announcement for the password and other things so that they can stream it or they can do it. Of course, everyone carries a SIM-based mobile, but when at the platforms like that, they expect that there has to be a Wi-Fi. So that is what an attribute I'm demanding at by the parents, and we are looking forward to satisfy them with all uh, possibilities in the best way possible.
That's a good thing that you're doing, and I appreciate your efforts towards technology. And very rightly said that the whole ecosystem has to interact with the technology more and more so that the right adoption takes place as soon as possible. So you're doing a good job, sir, and a very commendable job at that. Uh, uh, my last question is also a similar one. Very just earlier, where we were talking about. You just said ki students are more the affinity of students is more towards technology than the affinity of the faculties, and students very small students are very well versed with the high end technology, and and their corresponding teachers um, are not that well versed. uh, how can the technology be used to promote that inclusivity in education so that the digital divide that we see today is curtailed? What are your views on that?
Well, the inclusion of technology, yes, of course, it is assisted well, and the teachers also know that if they don't use technology, the children will not be excited. There won't be any interest among them. So they're trying their best, and they're trying their best not only by utilizing the creative content which we have, but also at the same time they are trying to make their own content in the best way possible, and also making use of the children for their contribution as well. So of course, changing to pre-COVID times and then COVID times and then again back to the post-COVID time, there has been a difference. And also at the same time, when we talk about the reality, the children didn't write any exam. The children who are going to write their class 12th exam this year have not written their class 10th exam at all. So there was a challenge. There was a challenge to make them comfortable sitting in the examination hall, having them pre-board, the second pre-board, just to make them, have the pen and the pencil and the copy and everything for 3 long hours sitting there, because they've never had that opportunity. So this was the challenge, and with the power of technology also, when they are used to of checking their phones every, if I'm permitted to use the word, every 10 minutes, they're checking their idiot digital box. So that is what the fact is, that how are you going to make them sit 3 long hours, you know and then this is the scenario. So thinking of we, the like you and me, sitting without technology for 3 long hours, even the movie we go, we have the freedom to utilize our phone as well. But in the examination, all that too targeted to writing something which they are not doing and used at all,
Yeah.
with digital notes taking and dependence on technology, YouTube, listening rather than writing. So there is a great challenge. Many of them have come across telling that they missed out writing and they were answers crisp. So we are telling them, all what is as a reality, asking them to sit back for 3 hours without the devices so that they can pretty well, face that scenario. So that's the challenge, and henceforth we are trying to equip them with a hybrid model of sitting back, taking them to green fields, taking them using some music, like I always play the song Heal the World, in the assembly, just to make them feel comfortable, ask them to sing along. And there are ways and means, in going for mindfulness. But at the same time, because they are tied up with that digital aspect, whether it's Netflix or whether it is checking on
Yeah.
their so many accounts, right from Tiddler to all that Instagram and to WhatsApp and to Twitter and what all, they have to have that, as a part of brushing the teeth. They have to check that account as well. Otherwise they start getting phone calls, oh my dear, you didn't check it, you didn't like it. And so they have become a social commitment now, also for
We
the
call it
students.
the new age vitamins.
Yeah, of course, which and also the liabilities, the new age
Yeah, it is
liabilities.
the
You didn't like my page, you didn't like my picture, hey, come on,
yeah.
what is it? Like it has become a social obligation now, in fact. You can't say that I didn't check my FB for a day. I'll
Wow.
be,
Yeah.
making
So true.
myself feel humiliated in public if I say so. I didn't check
So
my
true.
FB, you know.
Yeah.
So these are the attributes which I think we need to take care. And I think we have already planned our 24 hours in only 12 hours
Yeah.
by the activities we are into. We have to
Yeah.
study, we have to play, we have to move around, we have to do the walk. I mean, so many things. So it's a challenging world, I tell you, and that's what somebody coined the VUCA world, right? About how volatile it is, how uncertain it
It is.
is,
It is.
but still
It
we have
is.
to go through and sail through.
I think it's the baggage of technology that will come with the benefits. Of
Very
course,
true. Very
lack of patience is the biggest challenge that I hear educators talking about
Very true.
whenever I talk to them digitally or personally when I visit them. They always say that technology has helped them a lot, but it hasn't been able to instill the art of patience among the
Very good.
students,
Very good.
which
Very
was the key when they were made to sit for 3 hours for an examination.
In
But
fact, yeah,
I
unfortunate to say that we have become the slaves of technology now.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, you're right.
Unfortunate.
You're right. You're right. But I'm just hopeful that educators like yourself, the progressive educators like yourself, will definitely find a way to, bring back the beauty of education that was there once. And I love my school days. I'm always nostalgic about my school days. There was not more of technology there. Of course, there was a computer lab, but apart from that computer period, I was always among my friends, and we were talking. We were using pencils. We were
Correct.
reading books. We were playing games outside. So those were the days, good days for me as well. I'm sure technology has brought in a lot of good things for us, and educators like yourself, I believe, will bring back the magic within this new ecosystem as well. Um, Thank you very much for joining us today, sir. It has been a pleasure talking to you. I'm sure the students of Kumar School, Kumar Global School, are very lucky to have a technology enthusiast as their principal. It is very unlike. This is a very unlikely scenario. Usually, principals are not that tech savvy, and I'm sure your students are very lucky to have you. We would love to talk to you more, but the time constraints are there with us. But next time we'll talk about something really amazing, and we'll talk about definitely we would love I would love to talk about what kind of changes you've brought in within your school system to just to see what kind of hybrid model that you're using next time. And with that, I would like to take your leave. With that, I would like to take the leave of my audience. And next time, we will come up with another great educator and another great discussion. And till then, thank you very much. Thank you all.
Okay.
Bye bye. Thank you, sir.